and welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. This channel is all about planning, budgeting, paying off debt, and my very exciting journey from full-time teacher to full-time Etsy shop owner and YouTuber. So if that is something that you think you would like to see, then please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you along on this journey. Today we're going to do a budget check-in for week 3 and 4 of July, and we're also going to do a cash envelope stuffing at the end of the video, so you'll want to stick around for that. Today I'm using the Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom. I'm using a notebook by Plum Paper. I'm using highlighters that are from Amazon, and they're in my Amazon storefront, as well as an erasable pen, which is also in my Amazon storefront. I'm using stickers from my friend Cara Jo Plans. There are links to everything down below, and anytime I have a discount code for you, it is also linked below in the description box. Okay, so let's start by just quickly looking at last week. I already did it all, but I just want to go over the numbers with you. So let's start with expenses. The way I use the Budget Mom workbook is I use one expense tracker per week. I list out my expenses, I highlight them by category, and then I put a key down here so I can see exactly how much I spent in each category. So this was last week, and you'll notice, this was the week of the 11th through the 17th, week 3, and you'll notice there was a lot of blue. That was before I started my challenge of no eating out for week 4, stay on budget with food and house expenses for week 4. And I said I can eat out one meal on my birthday, which is actually today. It's my birthday, yay! So David is taking me out to lunch today for my birthday. But so before I set those goals, this week happened. And as you can see, we were just in a very bad place food-wise. So let's look, I'll just show you the weekly view. Lots of blues. Purples are bills, so that's expected, but the blues, those are variable expenses that we have control over, or we should have control over. So let's look at the numbers for week 3. Oh, I didn't do this, so let's just do this part together. So we'll see how I did on my variable expenses. For food, I budgeted $200. But I actually spent $352. So again, another bad food week. Last week it was $200 and $397. So even though it's a little bit better than the week before, it's still bad, which is why our new budget strategy that we're starting today, I'm so excited about it because we need to get this category under control, and our new strategy is really going to help us with that. Okay, so gas. We budgeted $30 and we only spent $21. Miscellaneous, we budgeted $25, but we didn't spend anything. And medical, we budgeted $50 and we didn't spend anything. So altogether, this is $305. And let's see how much that is altogether. $352 and $21. $373. So that's a difference of $68. So we were over budget by $68. I'm just going to double check my math here. So 200 and 352, that's a difference of 152. And this is a so that's a negative difference. This is a positive difference of $9. So we are positive 25 in miscellaneous and positive 50 in medical. So let's start with negative 152, and we're going to add 9, and we're going to add 25, and we're going to add 50, and that's negative 68. Okay, so let's look at where we're at so far for the month. So for food last week, we were at negative 234. So 234 plus 152. So we are now negative 386. Holy cow, almost $400. That's insane. Okay, gas, which is why we're making the changes we're making. So we were at negative 15 last week. We're at positive 9 this week, so that's a difference of $6. So we are negative $6. Okay, miscellaneous, we were at positive 25. Last week we're at positive 164. So we're now positive 189. That miscellaneous and medical categories really saved us as far as our spending goes this month. Okay, so medical, we were at positive 96 as of last week. And now we're adding 50, so we're positive 146. So let's see where we are for the month. So we have negative 386 to start. We're gonna take away another 6. We're gonna add 189, and we're gonna add 146. So we're at negative 57, and I'm just gonna double check my math, make sure that is accurate. Yep, that is accurate. Okay, so let's move on to this week, week 4. It was a much better week. So if you look at week 4, we have just 3 foods, and one is for $7 and one is for $5. And then we have a grocery trip for $135. So that's really good. Then we have our bills, we have 1 gas, we have no miscellaneous, no medical. We have our cash envelopes, because now I'm doing cash envelopes again. In addition to sinking funds, I'm also doing weekly cash envelopes for food, gas, and medical going forward. So that's why I had to take that money out this week. Okay, so let's take a look at the week, and let's lay down each expense that we had. Okay, starting with bills. We had a lot of bills that came out this week. First, Netflix came out, and that was $20. That was a little bit more than we usually pay for Netflix. David said it, like, the plan we have accidentally got switched to like a different plan, like a better plan. So he went in and fixed that. So next month we won't have to pay that much. I think we normally pay about 14 or 15, I think normally. Let's see, 15. We usually pay 15, so it's 5 higher. Okay, next is the city bill. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I was late on paying this, and then I couldn't find the bill, and I knew like our max is $300. We've never had to pay more than $300, so I just paid them $300. And then, of course, after I paid them, I finally found the bill, and it was like 200 something. So next month should be great, because they're going to credit us back the amount I overspent. Hopefully they do that. Okay, and then Alliant Energy, which is like our gas for our house, that was $30. And then we made a payment to Toyota for $445. That is not a bill, that's a debt. Okay, I got that fixed. I want to be accurate in my categories, because I'm going to try closing out my month this month with the categories and see how much percent of the income went to each category, which I know food is going to be crazy, but so I want that to be accurate. Okay, moving on to food. So we had probably the best week we've had in months as far as food goes. So on the 19th, $134 came out for our weekly Sam's Club visit. I'm sorry, $135. And then that was the only grocery trip visit we had this week. Logan and I, we didn't go to Aldi or Fairway like we normally do to get groceries. Instead, we ate food from our cupboards and our freezer, and that was kind of interesting. At one point, Logan said, this is kind of fun, trying to make food with like the food that we had, coming up with some ideas of putting things together. So, so we only spent $135 on groceries. We did get, Logan and I got our pizza and we get a slice of pizza and a drink for $3 each, so that's $6, and then David got a slushie for $1, so that was $7. And then my goal this week was to not eat out at all, and I did really well. I did end up taking Logan to Sam's Club one day to get a slice of pizza and a pop, and that came to $5 because that day I skipped the pop and I just got a slice of pizza. So that was $5 instead of $6. Okay, and then we have gas. We usually budget $30 for gas, and this week we spent $29, which is great because we've been consistently going over in gas. Well, not last week, but the first 2 weeks it was $40 and then $35. So getting back down to our budget is great. And then finally, I did take out $300 for our cash envelopes because you will see in the budget, when we go to the budget, that we are now doing cash envelopes again. Okay, so let's take a look at the budget. Okay, so let's start with income because this is going to be very different than what we planned. So first of all, we had a rollover of $349, and that is what we actually rolled over. My last teacher check, we decided not to use this as our income. We're leaving it in our account. And so loan number 2, which we're currently not paying on because we paid 6 months ahead, this goes until October. So in November, we need to start paying on it again. And 6 months total payment is $3,300 and something. So our goal is to not touch this, to have this be a buffer in our account, because you'll see our totals are going to be very, very low. We're going to be cutting it really close to the edge. So it's going to be a buffer, but also if we can get to November without using it, we can then use it to pay 6 more months of loan number 2. So that is the plan. Okay, so that is actually, we're going to say that's 0. It's in the account, it's a buffer, but it's 0. We're not counting it as part of our budget. Okay, YouTube and Etsy, let's look at that. So for YouTube, this is part of our budget for paying our fixed expenses now. And then Etsy is our budget for paying our variable expenses. So depending on how much I make each week in Etsy will determine how much we can spend on food, gas, and medical, which are the 3 categories we're keeping. So I only need $300 for that. That's our budget. So that $65 is going to go with our YouTube income to help pay for our fixed expenses, because we need $400 in that category. So that, let's see how close that gets us. So $259 plus 65, so $324 minus 400. So we're $76 short for our fixed expenses. So we'll have to figure that out. Okay, so let's come down here. So for depositing, so I deposited $259 and $365. So $624. Okay, so $349 plus $624. That's $973. Let me double check my math. Yep, $973. Okay, let's take a look at our fixed expenses. So loan number 2, again, we've made all of our payments through October, so we don't have a payment right now. Student loans is $40. We negotiated a lower payment based on our current income. So that's just for 12 months. So that's why it's such a low payment. Van is $445, which is our full payment amount, and it's 0% APR. So every time we pay that, we're actually paying that much off of the debt, which is very exciting. Alliant Energy, our budget was $50. Let's see how much we actually spent. Wait a second. Did my student loan come out? Oh, it came out the first week. I don't know why I had it here again. Okay, so that's 0. Okay, I know the van came out. Okay, so let's check energy. The Alliant was $30 instead of $50. Lawn care, again, David has mowed the lawn. Our lawn is like a jungle. Like our front lawn is like dead because it got didn't get enough water and too much sunshine. And our backyard gets a lot of shade and water, so our backyard's a bit jungly right now. Okay, Netflix 20, and I think that's how much it was. Yep, because we had that little extra. And then city 305 was 304. Okay, so let me add all this up and see how much our total fixed expenses were this week. Okay, $7.99. So $9.73 minus $7.99. That's $174. Whew. Wait. Is that right? That can't be right because I had... the rollover was wrong. Okay, so the rollover was $569. We budgeted $349, but we actually were able to roll over. So we budgeted $397, but we actually rolled over $569. Okay, whew, because that would not have left us enough money. $11.93. So we have $11.93 to start with. And we're going to take away $7.99. That leaves us with $3.94. Okay, much better. So moving down here to our cash envelopes. Okay, guys, sorry, I messed up. Let's go back to the top. Okay, this YouTube and Etsy income is actually for next week. So that is not for right now. So this budget is going to go negative. So $569 minus $799 is negative $230. Okay, so in the category of food, we budgeted $200, but we only spent $147. For gas, we budgeted $30 and we only spent $29. Miscellaneous, we budgeted $25, and medical we budgeted $50, and again we didn't spend any in either of those categories. So that is $305. And let's see how much we spent. $147 and $29. So we spent $176. So we were way below budget this week, which is good. So let's see, that's a difference. So 200 minus 147. That's a difference of $53, a positive difference for the first time this month. And here we were positive 1, here we were positive 25, and here we were positive 50. So 53 plus 1. So we were positive 129. I'm just going to double check my math. Okay, so 305 minus 176 should equal 129, but let's make sure that's right. 129, perfect. So last week we ended with negative 57. So we should have a positive amount of $72 at this point. So, okay, back to our variable expenses. So we ended up spending $147 in this category. We spent $29 here and 0 and 0 for a total of $176. That's negative $406, and I'm just going to double check my math. Yep, negative $406. So we're not putting any money in sinking funds or extra debt. So let's come over to rollover. So we have a negative amount of 406. Yay! Okay, so we are negative 406 to start the next week, which means we already have to dip into that 3,300. But that's okay. It's all part of the journey. Okay, let's set up the budget for week 5, which will be July 25th through July 31st. So our rollover is negative 406. Okay, so we are going to put in that amount from our savings. So that brings our rollover to 0, which is fine because we don't have any bills this week. We're not doing sinking funds. We're not paying off extra debt. We're just doing these cash envelopes, which we took the money out of our account to pay for. So that was, again, so $259 and $365. 9 plus 365, $624. So we have $624. So that's our $300 for our sinking funds, our cash envelopes, and then $324, which will be our rollover. So, okay, So $6.24. Okay, so I normally do my, my cash envelopes are from Iaisha, and I have a link to her Etsy shop down below. They're beautiful. Here, let me just show you really quickly. And I thought I ordered extras from her in case I was gonna make budgeting changes, because budgets tend to change, but I can't find them. So the new ones I'm using today are just old ones that I had made for my shop, and I have added, whatever these are called, to track my expenses. I purchased these a while ago from the Budget Mom, but I never used them. So I'm finally going to use them in my categories for food and house, gas, and medical. I don't track my spending money or Logan's spending money. So let's start with food and house. This week we were going to put $200 into that envelope. So today is the 24th. For description, I guess I just say deposit. And we're going to add, well here, if it's addition, then it's its normal number. If it's subtraction, it'll be a bracket. Okay, so we're gonna add 200, bringing our balance to 200. I decided to do 20s for food and gas because a lot of places now, since COVID, they won't take 50s or 100s for some reason. So we're gonna go with 20s. So 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82. So that's 200. I'm just gonna double count, make sure. Yep, so that's 200 for food and house this week. Okay, for gas, we're going to put aside $30. $10, $20, $30. Okay, for spending, this category total is, let's see, 20, 40, $45. So that's 20 for me, 20 for David, and 5 for Logan. David already transferred his to his account, so here's my 20. And here's Logan's 5. So let's see how much I have. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Nice. So if I really feel like I need something, I have some money to pay for it. Okay, so we did those. Okay, so last is medical, and I've decreased my medical budget. I've taken away miscellaneous because we're not using it, and that's good. We don't want a miscellaneous budget. And I've decreased my medical to 25 because we're just not spending as much as I thought we would be spending in medical. So 25. So here's 20 and 5. Altogether, let's see how much that is. 200 plus 30 plus 45 plus 25. 300, perfect, that's what I budgeted. So 300, so 624 minus 300 is 324. So that's what we're gonna have to roll over to start the next month. Now the cool thing is next week we get David's check. It's like $18.49, I think is what he gets. So that's our big check to help us pay for our fixed expenses throughout the month. So 324, 324, 324, bringing our total to 0 because we always zero out our budget. Okay guys, I know that this is a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's also very exciting, but I am up for the challenge. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, will you please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all again next time. Bye everyone.